Good morning, my name is Michael Ardayot, reporting about the software testing and quality assurance, together with the manual testing, mobile application testing, automation testing, and security testing. What is software testing? Testing is the process of establishing confidence that a program or system does what it's supposed to. So, dito naman, ma-establish na natin yung confidence ng isang system mo pag tinetesting muna natin siya. Siyempre, pag i-present mo, kailangan is wala siyang error. Malalaman mo na agad yung error pag tinest mo na siya para pulido pag present nyo na. Testing is the process of executing a program or system with the intent of finding errors. So, yun nga, hahanapin mo rin yung dito, yung error sa pagtetest para malaman mo kung ano yung mali at hindi ka na magkaka-aberya pag i-present mo na siya. Testing is any activity aimed at evaluating an attribute or capability of a program or system and determining that it means its required results by Hetzel in 1983. So, testing mo daw siya. Pag test mo siya, may evaluate mo kung ano yung kakayanan ng system mo, kung ano yung na ginagawa niya. So, halimbawa, gumawa ka ng system. Para saan ba yun? Ano ba yung mga capabilities ng system mo? Siguro, kulang sa security ka. So, kailangan mo siyang i-update sa security o kulang sa mga interactions, gano'n. No? Kailangan mong dagdagan ng mga gano'n para mas interesting ang system. One of very important software development phases. A software process based on a well-defined software quality control and testing standards, testing methods, strategy, test, criteria, and tools. Ito daw yung mga kagamitan na ginagamit nila para sa pag-develop ng isang software. So, kailangan dito ng control testing, yung testing doon ng standards, tapos yung mga methods niya, ganun, tsaka mga strategiya, yung mga kagamitang ginagamit. Engineers perform all types of software testing activities to perform a software test process. Engineers naman daw yung mga gumagamit ng mga ganitong proseso. Yung pag-test ng quality, tsaka yung mga standards yun. The last quality checking point for software on its production line. Software testing is about testing a feature by applying test data to get result and then comparing the actual result with the expected result. So, ito daw yung expected result na kinuha ng mga kliyente. Tapos ito naman yung actual result sa pagtetest ng software. So, titignan nila kung ano yung pagkakaiba at ano yung mga dapat nilang baguhin at dapat nilang mga upgrade sa software nila. It is not finding the defect in the SW, it is the completely dedicated discipline of evaluating the quality of the system. So, hindi daw basta sa paghahanap lang ng defect nito, kundi sa pag-evaluate din at sa mga pagbabago ng quality ng kanyang software. Who does testing? It depends on the process and the associated stakeholders of the project. So, nakadepende pa rin dito sa proseso at saka sa mga stakeholder. In the IT industry, large companies have a team with responsibility to evaluate the developed software in context of given requirements. Ito daw sa IT industry daw na large company, may magkakaiba daw kasi mga responsibilidad ng mga yan. May mga team na para sa software, may mga team na mga software tester, ganun. Moreover, developers also conduct testing which is called unit testing. In most cases, the following professionals are involved in testing a system within their respective capacities. So, ito na yung mga iba-ibang mga professionals para sa kanilang mga software. Software tester, software developer, project lead or manager, tsaka end user. Different companies have different designations for people who test the software on their basis of their experience and knowledge, such as software tester, software quality assurance engineer, QA analyst, and many more. So, ito naman mga iba-ibang mga may iba-iba silang mga kakayanan. Yung parang specialized sila doon. So, kung ano yung mga most experienced nila, doon sila, kung ano ba, magaling ka sa pagtetest ng software, o di doon ka, designated doon. Tsaka sa pagtest ng quality, doon ka naman sa quality assurance engineer. It is not possible to test the software at any time during its cycle. The next two sections when testing should be started and when to end it during the SLDC. So, Hindi daw basta-basta ang pagtetest ng software. Kailangan sumusunod ka sa proseso kasi hindi daw pwedeng sabay-sabay, hindi daw pwedeng iba-iba. Kasi kailangan may nauuna, may susunod. Sunod-sunod yan eh. Why testing is important? Software testing is really required to point out the defects and errors that were made during the development phases. So, kailangan, importante daw to kasi para malaman yung mga defect at saka mga error ng software. It's essential since it makes sure the customer's reliability and their satisfaction in the application. Essential din daw to kasi kailangan daw yung mga customer is masatisfy. It is very important to ensure the quality and of the product. Quality of the product delivered to the customers helps in gaining their confidence. Testing is necessary in order to provide the facilities to the customers like the delivery of high-quality product or software application, which requires lower maintenance costs and hence result into a more accurate, consistent, and reliable result. Testing is required for an effective performance of software, application, or product. It's important to ensure that the application should not result into any failures because it can be very expensive in the future or in the late stages of the development. It's required to stay in the business. 7 Principle of software testing. Number 1. Testing shows presence of defects. Testing can show the defects are present but cannot prove that there are no defects. Even after testing the application or product thoroughly, we cannot say that the product is 100% defect-free. So, hindi daw always na 100% defect-free ang pagtetest dahil always daw itong merong defect kahit anong gawin mo. Kahit ginawa mo na lahat daw ng mga pagtetest. Exhaustive testing is impossible. Testing everything including all combinations of inputs and preconditions is not possible. So instead of doing the exhaustive testing, we can use risk priorities to focus on the testing efforts. Early testing. In the software development, life cycle testing activities should start as early as possible and should be focused on defined objectives. So, kailangan daw, maaga pa lang daw or early pa lang ginagawa nyo daw yung pagtitest. Tsaka dapat daw pag-test kayo, nakafocus lang kayo sa kung ano yung dapat yung i-test at kung ano yung objective nyo. Defect clustering. A small number of modules contain most of the defects discovered during pre-release testing or shows most operational failures. Dito malalaman mo naman dito kung ano yung mga laging tinetest at saka yung mga operational na nagfi-fail. Pesticle paradox. If the same kinds of tests are repeated again and again, eventually the same set of test cases will no longer be able to find any new bugs to overcome this pesticle paradox. If testing is context-depending, testing is basically context-dependent. Different kinds of sites are tested differently. For example, safety critical software is tested different from an e-commerce site. Absence of errors, fallacy. If the system built is unusable and does not fulfill the user's needs and expectations, then fixing defects does not. Fundamental software testing. The 5 stages of fundamental. Test planning and control. Test analysis and design. Test implementation and execution. Evaluating exit criteria and reporting. And last is test closure activities. So, fundamental test process, 5 phases of the fundamental test process. So, una is the test planning control. So, pag okay siya, punta ka sa sunod sa next. Test analysis and design. Pag sa test analysis is good ka, walang problema. Punta ka na sa test implementation and execution. So, pag dito, pag nagkamali ka naman dito, pwede kang mag-repeat dun ulit sa pangalawa, sa test analysis design. At kung sa second na pag-ayos mo naman sa fixed component test scales, scripts, and pag okay na, next ka na. Evaluating exit criteria and reporting. So kung mali ka rito, kung may mali, balik ka sa test analysis and design. So pagtitest mo naman ulit sa test planning control. So pag okay na, next sa test closure activities. So yun. QA, QC, and testing. Testing, quality assurance, and quality control. Most people get confused when it comes to pin down and differences among quality assurance, quality control, and testing. Although they are interrelated in some extent, they can be considered as same activities, but there exist distinguishing points and set them apart. The following table lists the points and differentiate QA, QC, and testing. Quality assurance includes activities that ensure the implementation of process, procedures, and standards into context to verification of developed software and intended requirements. Ito naman yung mga pag-ensure daw at saka sa proseso niya is bine-verify niya yung mga developed na software. Focuses on processes and procedures rather than conducting an actual testing on the system. So ito daw nakafocus daw sa process tsaka mga procedure kaysa daw sa mga pagtetest ng system. Process-oriented activities, preventative activities. It is a subset of software test life cycle or STLC. Quality control. It includes activities that ensure the verification of developed software with respect to documented or not in some cases requirements. Focuses on actual testing by executing the software with an aim to identify bug or defect through implementation of procedures and process. So ito naman daw, sa pagkakaiba nila ng assurance is, ito nakafocus siya sa pagtetest ng software o pag-execute. Tapos, in-aim niya rin daw kung yung tinitignan yung mga bugs or defect ng software. Product-oriented activities. Parehas sila. It is a corrective process. It can be considered as a subset of quality of assurance. So, itong quality control daw is parang subset daw siya ng quality assurance. It includes activities, itong testing. It includes activities that ensure the identification of bugs, error, defects in a software. Ito namang sa testing is andito lahat sa pag-identify ng bug, pag-identify ng error, tsaka pag-identify ng defects sa software. Focuses on actual testing. Ito naman, unlike sa dalawa, nakafocus to sa talagang tinetest na. Product-oriented activities din siya. It is a preventive process. Testing is the subset of quality control. So, itong testing naman daw is subset naman siya ng quality control. Software testing ISO standards. Some of the other standards related to QA and testing processes are mentioned below. IEE 829 Test Documentation, IEEE 830 A Guide for Developing System Requirements Specifications, IEEE 730 A Standards for Software Quality Assurance Plans, IEEE 1008 Unit Testing, IEEE 12207 A Standard for Software Cycle Processes and Life Cycle Data, BS 72925-1 Vocabulary of Terms in Software Testing, BS 72925-2 Software Component Testing Standard. Types of testing. This section describes the different types of testing that may be used to test a software during SDLC. Manual testing. Manual testing includes testing a software manually without using any automated tool or any script. So, manual testing daw is manual talaga siya. Hindi ka gagamit ng kahit anong automated tool or kahit anong script. In this type, the tester takes over the role of an end user and tests the software to identify the unexpected behavior or bug. There are different stages for manual testing, such as unit testing, integration testing, system testing, and user acceptance testing. Tester use test plans, test cases, or test scenarios to test a software to ensure the completeness of testing. So, dito daw, gumagamit yung mga tester ng mga test scenario or mga cases para malaman kung ano yung defect or ano yung kulang ganun. Manual testing also includes exploratory testing, as testers explore the software to identify errors in it. O ganun nga, hinahanap nila yung error gamit ng mga test scenarios or test cases. Automation testing. Automation testing, which also known as test automation, is when the tester writes scripts, uses another software to test the product. So dito naman, automated siya. Gumagamit sila ng mga test automator or mga test writes. This process involves automation of a manual process. Automation testing is used to rerun the test scenarios that were performed manually, quickly, and repeatedly. So dito naman, yung mga na-test ng manual is dito iti-test sa automation testing. Software testing tools. The following tools can be used for automation testing. HP Quick Test Professional, Selenium, IBM Rational Functional Tester, Silk Test, Test Complete, Testing Anywhere, WinRunner, LoadRunner, Visual Studio Test Professional, or WATIR or WATIR. Testing method. There are three types of testing: white box testing, unit testing, structural testing. Number 2, black box testing, functional testing, integration testing, system testing, usability testing, compatibility testing, configuration text testing, concurrency testing. And number 3, non-functional testing, security testing, automation testing, performance testing, load testing, stress testing, volume testing, and last, recovery testing. Documentation. Testing documentation involves the documentation of artifacts that should be developed before or during the testing of software. Documentation for software testing helps in estimating the testing effort required, test coverage, requirement tracking, tracing, etc. This section describes some of the commonly used documented artifacts related to software testing, such as test plan, test scenario, test case, or traceability metrics. So, itong pagdo-document nito, kailangan to kasi para ma-trace mo kung ano yung mga ginawa mo or ano yung mga ginawa dun sa software. Para malaman mo rin kung ano yung pagkukulang or kung ano yung nagagawa mo. Skill required to become a software tester. Following skills are indispensable to become a good software tester. Compare your skill set against the following checklist to determine whether software testing is really for you. Verbal and written communication, passion, technical skills, analytical skills, attitude, and productivity. A good software tester should have a sharp analytical skills. Analytical skills will help break up a complex software system into your smaller units to gain a better understanding and create corresponding test cases. A good software tester must have strong technical skills. This would include high level of proficiency in tools like MS Office, OpenOffice, testing tools like Qtp, LoadRunner, etc., and of other deep understand of the application under test. A good software must have a good verbal written communication skill. Testing at times could be demanding a job, especially during the release of code. A software tester must efficiently manage workload, have high productivity, exhibit optimal time management, and organization skills. To be a good software tester, you must have a great attitude, an attitude to test to break, detail or orientation, willingness to learn and suggest process improvements. To excel in any profession or job, one must have a great degree of the passion for it. A software tester must have passion for his or her field, but how do you determine whether you have a passion on software testing if you have never been tested before? Academic background. Academic background of software tester should be in a computer science, BTech or BE or MCA, BCA, BSc. Computers will land you a job easily. If you do not hold any of these degrees, then you must complete software testing certification like ISTQB and CSTEA, which help you learn software development or test lifecycle and other testing methodologies. So pag hindi ka daw nakakuha ng kahit ano sa mga academic background na gano'n, wala kang academic background na BTech or PE, MCA, BCA, hindi ka daw basta-basta makakuha ng trabahong ganon, software tester. So kailangan mo pa rin mag-aral sa ISTQB kung wala ka pang mga academic background na ganon. Career options for software professionals: SCM or analyst, test engineer, test analyst, SCM manager, security tester, IS auditor to IS manager to lead to test lead, senior test engineer, tools engineer, tool architect, developer designer, business analyst, senior test analyst, test center manager, test manager, and test consultant, and QA lead, and last is QA manager. As mentioned from above, from being test engineer, one can move to senior test engineer, test lead to test manager. Else can become QA lead, QA manager. Options available in the testing tools side are enormous. There are numbers of functional performance, security testing tools besides test manager, management, tools like Quality Center from HP or CQTM from IBM, etc. The demand for niche skills like SOA testers, security testers are on the increase. There is dearth of skills in test automation areas. Scripting skills in the tools language like VB, Java, and other scripting languages like Perl, Shell, Python, etc. Technical resources with capabilities to evaluate automation tools, create automation framework, and reusable components are on demand. Always there is demand for good performance testers who can analyze and test results, identify the bottlenecks, and suggest tuning techniques. Remuneration of software tester. Software tester salary in India. The average pay for software tester is Rs 310,575 per year. People in this job generally don't have more than 10 years experience. Experience strongly influences salary for this job. The skills that increase pay for this job the most are test automation, test planning, and SQL. Software tester salary in United States. A software tester earns an average salary of $55,334 per year. Most people like this job move on to another positions after 20 years in this career. The highest paying skills associated with this job are ASP.NET and .NET. The career path of a tester. Any tester has many ways to grow throughout their career. By starting a trainee or junior, one can constantly grow and learn by obtaining new skills, taking on new responsibilities, and facing challenges. Step 1. Test executor. Curious, meticulous observer who executes test cases and report bugs. Step 2. Test designer, user of design techniques, critical analysis, and manages metrics. Step 3. Senior tester. Specializes in testing techniques and business sectors such as finance, health, e-commerce, etc. Step 4. Technical tester. Highly specialized in test automation, performance testing, or security testing, etc. Test manager. Organizes and coordinates a team, manages metrics, establishes strategies, plans, and estimates. That's the final step. Scope of testing. Software testing professionals are in huge demand both in India and abroad. Indian Testing Board has more than 30,000 certified testers in International Software Testing Qualifications Board or ISTQB Foundation level exam. It is globally accepted certification for software testers. Software testing is more challenging domain. At the same time, it offers lucrative salary packages for talented professionals. Every day, hundreds of new software applicants are launched in the market. As a result, there is a huge demand for software testers who can validate software product at various levels. According to recent survey, India is going to be the popular software outsourcing destination in the world because of its operational efficiency and talented workplace. As a software tester, your career advancement will follow the following hierarchy: junior test engineer to senior test engineer to team lead, and last, the project manager. That's all, and thank you for listening. Thank you.